I just suppose I wanted to go through, we've covered a lot of ground in terms of, types of things to understand, read your warranties, those types of things. Are there any big mistakes that see people make? I mean, you speak with community a lot in your role. Assumptions that people make that are wrong, or things that, really you see really surprise homeowners about, the accessibility of solar, or things that they're just not aware of in those conversations that you have with them about using solar energy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few really basic ones. Like, it's amazing how many people don't understand that the power is free while it's generating. So that even people who already have systems, having that quick explainer is always worthwhile. Another thing is that we get calls from people who will say that the system isn't generating as much as it said on their quote. But what the suppliers do is they'll give you an average across the year. So they'll say, for example, they'll say a 5 kilowatt system will generate an average of around 11.5 kilowatt hours per day. So in winter, it might only be 5, but in summer, it might be up to 22 on certain days. So they're averaging it out. So there's that seasonal variation, and it means that if you put a system on now, for example, your first bill, you're going to have much larger savings than you will in your winter bill because you won't have generated as much. So again, it's one of those things that seems quite straightforward and obvious, but if you haven't already thought about it, then you get the bill and you think, what's going on here? So it's sort of one of those things to remember. The other thing that happens is that we, of course, say use your power during the day, but then people turn everything on all at once. And although your system will generate a certain amount of kilowatt hours per day, it's not generating them all at the same time. So again, that's why smart meters are quite good, because you can get a good understanding of when you're using power and figure out what it is that's using the power. But for example, something like a kettle uses a lot of power, but only for a very short amount of time. But people get up in the morning and they use the kettle and the toaster and maybe the microwave, and there's quite a big kind of draw all in one go. And it might be that although the sun was shining, it wasn't generating enough to power everything all at once. So that's another area where it's good to try and stagger. So, put the dishwasher on and then the washing machine later, rather than everything all at once, depending on your system size.